Hello everyone, Camelsaurus here, and today I'm going to review the Gremlins 3 King of the Gremlins action figure. No, but seriously guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the Jurassic World Dimorphodon figure. So without further ado, let's get into reviewing the figure. Starting off, let's give you some background information. This figure is supposed to represent the Jurassic World Dimorphodon, the one from the film, where there was many of them attacking Main Street. You know, it was a very cool scene, and I actually really liked Dimorphodon being added into the film. It added a little bit of variety in the Pteranodons in the films, so I really did like this little guy being added. But let's just see how this figure holds up. That's enough of the background information, and let's get into the articulation. Starting off the articulation at the jaw, there is a little pin here, which is connecting the jaw to the head, and that allows you to go like that. That's the only articulation on the jaw. That's mainly because of the gimmick in this figure, which we'll get onto. But for now, this is a really weak jaw articulation here. Like, you can't really move. It moves. That's cool that it moves at all. But it can't stay up if you push it up. There's really no way to actually keep that up. Maybe you could get some blue tack in there and stick it up, but that's about it. Moving on to the feet. The feet have little swivels in here, and they can be moved a little bit. So, you know, that's not very good, but yeah, it's articulation. Finally, moving on to the wings. The wings have up and down articulation, but as you can hear, that is also just because of the gimmick. This figure is really just one giant gimmick. It's not, you know, it's not really something you can pose or display very well. This is definitely a toy for children. They all are toys for children, but this is one that I couldn't see a collector really enjoying and putting it in dioramas. It's not good for that kind of stuff. So moving on to the paint scheme, here we are at the head. Now the head actually has got quite a nice paint scheme on it. It's mainly green, which is the plastic, but it has some brown detailing added to it, which I actually think is quite nice. I don't think the paint scheme on the head is bad in the slightest. However, this is a bigger toy, so when comparing it to something like this, yeah, they've got a lot more room to add detail. So I still commend them for that. The mouth is also fully painted inside, and the teeth have also been painted. However, the teeth... There's that gimmick again. Okay. However, the teeth could have been painted a lot better. For instance, these teeth here haven't even been painted, really. They're just kind of sitting there with green plastic. Moving on to the eye has actually been painted quite nicely. It's a nice yellow with a little black pupil in there, and that eye is actually quite small. For instance, it is pretty much the same size as the smaller Dimorphodon figure, the one by Mattel's eye, which is quite shocking. However, Mattel has painted their Dimorphodon's eye a lot nicer, as this one has some little paint defects in it. Moving on to the wings do have some really nice colouring on them, some kind of camouflage stripes on them and kind of little swirly little markings on them in two different colours. We have this brown colour, which is the primary colour used, and then to highlight the tips of the wings and along the side of the wings we have this nice kind of tan, very light yellow kind of colour, and that is on both sides, and both sides have got different patterns on them. Moving on to the back has these nice black stripes and kind of triangles all over it, giving it this really nice detail. Now I'll say, I don't like this Dimorphodon's mold, and I don't like the size of it, but I do like its colour scheme. Finally, moving on to the tail has some smaller details, these little brown kind of stripes on them, which is very nice. It's nice detail that we didn't get on the Mattel one. I don't think the Mattel one needed this extra detail. However, it's nice to get it on this figure. However, some gripes to the figure. This figure would fit in really well on the Mattel line, as its claws have also not been painted, which you know is something that is a big problem with the Mattel line right now. Now, here I'm going to talk about the gimmick of this figure. It has two. One is this action feature where you grab the figure's legs, you squeeze them like that, and it actually flaps up the wings and clamps the jaw. This is actually a pretty cool action feature. It also makes a flapping sound, so you can go... If you time it right, it does sound like the creature is flying. And I actually like that gimmick. However, I wish they didn't have the jaw thing, because that does kind of detract from the figure. And honestly, I'd rather have no gimmick than this gimmick, but if I had to have a gimmick, I like this one. The second gimmick is this figure, like many others, have tried to replicate the awesomeness of dino damage from the first two Jurassic Park films, however has also failed just the same. This figure has this small area of dino damage, which, to be fair, does look better than the blue figure I looked at in the last review. But what happens is, you press it, the dinosaur makes this kind of noise, it's kind of in pain. However, this is the weirdest part, it lights up. Now, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I fall over it, my cuts don't glow. Yeah, so I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, I'm not going to hate on the gimmicks in this figure, because overall, they're two solid kind of gimmicks. The flying one's actually quite cool, and the dino damage one, while lacking, is still okay. It makes a noise when you press it. That's quite cool. However, the lights is something I would have avoided. It's really just one of the reasons this figure probably cost a bit more than it should have. It's because of that stupid light, which nobody really wants. Anyway, before I finish this video, I'd like to do some comparisons. Here is the Dimorphodon from Jurassic World's toy line, and here is the Dimorphodon from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's toy line. As you can see, this one is a big fat flying creature of strangeness and gimmickness, and this is a nice little Dimorphodon figure from Jurassic World. So here's one of my main problems with the Jurassic World toy line that they did fix with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom when Mattel took the license, is scaling. Here is a Dimorphodon, one of the smallest animals in the Jurassic Park history. And here is it next to an Ankylosaurus from the same line. Now, this shot may not look too bad, but let's just go up a bit, shall we? Yes, that's very interesting. Yeah, last time I remembered, an Ankylosaurus was bigger than a human, and a Dimorphodon was smaller than a human. Something's not right here. Dr. Wu's be making some strange hybrids. Somebody take him away from the bar, please.
That's unfortunate.
Overall, this figure's not terrible. Let's be honest, but it's not good. It's still a piece of garbage. So, overall, I think I'm going to have to give this figure a 4 out of 10. Same score that I gave the blue figure from this toy line. It's so close to being okay. You know, it's not terrible. I don't regret owning it, because, like I said, I liked Jurassic World. I really liked that film. So I'm glad I have some toys from it. But at the same time, it's still garbage. And I'm so happy that I got this guy in my collection instead to replace him. Because, honestly, Dimorphodon was like my favourite animal that got added in Jurassic World. I liked it over Apatosaurus. And Indominus as well, I guess. You know, the Indominus was really cool. But I just love Dimorphodon. It's awesome. But I'm so happy to have this figure. And I don't recommend you buy this, because this figure exists at a way cheaper price and is just such better quality. So that's all I'm going to say, guys. Don't pick this figure up. Pick up this guy. I love it so much. I'm probably too biased with this figure because of how much I love Dimorphodon. But, you know, this figure is a piece of crap, so don't buy it. But, you know, if you do want to buy it, you can reenact the scene where the Dimorphodons get broken out by the Indominus Rex. I don't recommend buying it though. Still, use this thing, it's way better. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you guys are enjoying these Jurassic World reviews. I know, you know, Fallen Kingdom's out, but I wanted to take a look back at these old figures, so I think I'm gonna. I've got one last review from the Jurassic World toy line to film, and that is the Ankylosaurus, which actually is my favorite from the toy line, so expect a more positive review with this guy. But until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.